How do we know that Jacob learnt Torah from Esau? How do we know this? This week, Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeriah, in his commentary, he looks at the verse where Jacob comes to receive Joseph's sons, and Joseph wants a blessing, and Jacob asks Joseph, who are these? Mi ele? Which is a perplexing question, right? They're obviously his children. Why does he ask mi ele? And even more perplexing is Joseph's answer, Melokim, right? They're my sons from God. Now, and Rabbi Yaakov explains, when Jacob asks mi ele, he knows that he married an Egyptian, right, a shiksa. And so he asks, he says, mi ele is separating God's name, because mi and ele together are Elokim. And so when Jacob asks Joseph, mi ele, he asks him, by marrying a shiksa, have you separated God's name? If what you've been doing, from the holy place, and right, with the right intentions, you being a good yid. And Joseph's answer, melokim him, from God, there was no pirud, I didn't separate any name, it was all from Kedusha, it was all out of holiness. Now, how do we know that this is a teaching of Esau's? Because when Jacob met Esau, right, back with the 400 men, when the famous, reuniting years after the whole bickering, what's one of the first questions that Esau asks Jacob? Mi ele. Esau sees all the women, all the children, and he thinks that, Jacob is a person with a big evil inclination and likes to, have a good time. And therefore he asks, mi ele, have you been separating God's name? Have you been doing things for the wrong reasons? And Jacob answers, melokim him. These are from God, no such thing. Thus we understand that Jacob learned how to ask the right questions from Esau, and we learn from Joseph that he knew to respond exactly like his father Jacob did. So this is Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeriah on this take of this, this scene where the blessings come about. And now we move on to the Maggid of Zlotchov. The Maggid of Zlotchov looks at the blessing given to Judah. You write, Judah, you're a lion cub. You elevated yourself from destruction, and he asks, what he starts off the Maggid and says, there's an important rule. A person needs to always look for tshuva. A person always needs to return to this is the rule. And he says, and this is a very powerful statement from the Maggid, and he says, and to do this, to do tshuva, to return, you need to have great yirah. You need to be God-fearing. And he says this is alluded in this verse. Why is Judah called a lion cub? Because Aryeh are the letters of Yirah, right? This is the symbol. And what is Judah? Judah symbolizes a Jew, Yudi. So Yudi needs to always look for Yirah, look for fear. And when you do this, then you're able to elevate yourself from destruction, from all of these, from the evil sins. And this is the role we learn from Judah, what each and every Jew needs to be doing. So these are thoughts on the Torah portion of Vayehi, the Maggid of Zlotchov, Eastern Galicia, and Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeriah from southern Morocco. Shabbat Shalom.